So if you are really troubled by your partner's past, you might have asked yourself, is this jealousy, retroactive jealousy? What is the difference? And this is what I'm going to talk to you about. Hi, this is Noemi Seri. I am a retroactive jealousy specialist. And let's look at it. So basically, when thinking about jealousy, the huge difference between jealousy and retroactive jealousy is that in jealousy, we are in a dyadic relationship, basically, where there are two partners. A third one is threatening this relationship, or we perceive that there is a third party who might be threatening this relationship. And the threat, depending on the arrangement you have with your partner, can be different sort. It can be sexual, it can be um, emotional, it can be a mixture of two. So basically, you sense, or you might even have evidence that there is somebody who might want to intervene into this relationship, and therefore it can damage it, it can threaten it. There is a real risk to the relationship, or there is a perceived risk. And the perceived, I want to make a big distinction between them, because there can be a real risk. Yes, there are such a situation, and there is sometimes a perceived one. So there are people who might see threat where there isn't any. And yes, that can be a real issue. Now, that's the jealousy part. Retroactive jealousy is quite a peculiar one, because there is no uh, current danger. Yeah, so it is not about who they are meeting, who they work with, have they looked at somebody, has somebody approached them? Yeah, so there is no current risk. Everything is in the past. Of course, we know that the past doesn't exist, so it's irrational on many levels. However, uh, when feeling this, it can be extremely real. It feels extremely real. So there is a perceived threat. There is no threat. There is a strongly perceived threat. And the threat is not that you're going to lose your partner. The threat can be, for instance, reflected back on you, that they might have been better, they have just settled for me, or I can't think how they could have done this. Or maybe if there might be some religious, there might be some cultural expectation that that person has lost their purity, or whatever concepts and associations there are. So basically, kind of feeling that you have been let down. That might be a feeling. But there are many aspects to it, but kind of in a nutshell, that's what often happens. So in retroactive jealousy, the person so it's really difficult to actually deal with it, because whereas in jealousy, you could point out, hey, there's this person. I can see that they have certain intentions. Yes, if it's not a perceived one. Yes, you can even talk to somebody who is objective, and say, "Hey, I have these thoughts. There are these signs." Or can you also look at this situation and tell me whether I am thinking I'm delusional here, or actually is happening. Yeah, so there are ways to actually test yourself and test your assumptions. Now, in retroactive jealousy, that's difficult. So this is why, for instance, sometimes people might actually engage in activities that they feel guilty about later on, because they might stalk their partner's exes on social media, or they might actually try and look for old pictures, or they want to hear about the stories. Kind of creating a real person out of an idea. Yes, it still stays an idea because it's in the past. It doesn't exist. Yes, it's not. You can't really prevent it as such. You can't prevent a risk of losing your partner or having a relationship damaged because it's in the past. So it's already happened. So it's a reality that was in the past. But it's not something that is happening or might happen in the future. So that's why this is kind of a peculiar issue. Uh, and how do you obviously if you're experiencing this, your question is probably how do I deal with this? How do I deal with this? Because you might be waking up with this, going through your day, thinking about this, and going to bed with that, or maybe even staying up at night. So the important thing is to recognize that it is there, is to recognize that there is no threat, and then to really look at what it is that might be behind it. Yes, because if we perceive something that doesn't really exist, then there is something internal that we have to look at. Uh, what is it that we are afraid of? Now, there might be issues, yes. So there might be, on the other side, could be that if a partner compares you to their exes, that's a different story. That's not retroactive jealousy. Yes, that's if somebody induces such feelings in you, that's bad. So we are talking about something else. I'm talking about when if you have retroactive jealousy and you keep asking and you keep trying to get more information about it and trying to solve this and feel bad about your partner, yeah, uh, then there is something internal. There might be a fear, an insecurity, something that is manifesting. Yeah, it shows up as retroactive jealousy. So if you want to solve retroactive jealousy, you cannot if you and try to change the past, well, good luck. You can't. Let me know, because it would be nice to know how we change the past. Joke aside, it's not possible. So you're setting yourself up for failure. Yeah. So what you want instead is to say what is behind it. What is behind it? Because it is internal, even though it is directed at something external. Basically, the past of my partner. Yeah. So it's not directed at my partner, although the arguments will be with the partner, but it's the concept, it's an idea, the past of my partner. Yeah, so there is a person, there's another person, your partner, and then there's the idea about their past, um, which which is uh, uh, which is not integrated into the partner, because once it gets integrated and accepted, then it will no longer be a problem. But so basically, there is an internal thing that you want, a source that you want to work on uh, to to eliminate the issue.